But you know, the moral to that for me is, if you're trying to do something with your life, if you have the courage to like be out there and even buying NFTs, there's a high probability some of this stuff is going to happen. And it sucks, man. It sucks major. But when you're trying, the odds are kind of against you in a, you know, in a almost good way. This kind of crap's going to happen. It's how do you pick yourself up? I love that the community is there, going back to that, to where you can maybe jump over to another community or whatever. But in all reality, it's just how do you take it? How do you deal with it? You put your head in the sand, or do you go, learned a lesson there? That won't happen again. Now, potentially it will, but you know, I just wanted you guys to hear that because I've had so many scams I've fallen for, and you just got to dust yourself off. Damn it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this. But I feel like this goes throughout the whole crypto space. You know, it's so risky and so rewarding at the same time. But if you like imagine that you have a lot of money into, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever, and then you just put it into your cold storage and you lose the access to that cold storage, the funds are just gone. You know, there's no regulations, there's nobody that could bring it up back for you. It's teaches the people to approach it differently, I think, and that's a good thing. You know, we are taking the things into our own hands.
Yes, you absolutely have to learn from it. I didn't know
By
you
the way,
guys' agenda today. Sorry, I just started talking, but yeah.
no. It's like a freestyle. You know, we wanted to welcome some new members from the LepreCons. I see James
Yes.
was able to connect already. Hello, James.
Good morning.
Yeah, we can't hear you for some reason.
Let me check what he should be able to, because he has all the same things as us, but let me check it. Huh.
Yeah, so anyhow, until he manages to put it on, we don't have schedule today. It's more of a freestyle, like I said. If any one of you guys want to speak, I'm sure that CryptoDad
Can
will
you hear
give
me
you the
now?
permission. Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Oh, good
All right.
morning. I thought it was my headphones, but it hasn't been my headphones because even after I disconnected, it still didn't work. So great, it works now. By the way, that's exciting. I've heard Hash speaking about the token, and I have to ask, how did it end up going? Do you still have the token? Is it still alive, or it's
Oh
um?
yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. We actually changed it up. We went to a completely different platform than we originated on. Now we're on Cardano. So as
Uh-huh.
you know, with ADA, there's lots of layers, and you know they're trying to get dexes right now, and there's a lot going on with it. But absolutely, we've not stopped. It's just grown better and gotten stronger because of those experiences. Believe it or
Wow.
not.
And so so if you do your own token, how does it work business wise? Like, I mean, so unless it's a rug pull where you withdraw the whole amount, of course, but when you really build it for the long term, where is the business in it? It's like you, I don't know, you create a million tokens and then you buy 100,000 of them yourselves and hold them and then work on the token, expanding. And once it's bigger, you can sell some of these that you own, or how does it work? Like, what's the
Mm.
what's the
Well,
business plan with doing a token?
you know that sketchy probability is always there. The way this works, we did the tokenomics were basically 300 million tokens.
Uh-huh.
And I'll disclose the name and all that to you guys at a later date. But yeah, there's 300 million tokens. Those are in my Daedalus wallet.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, we have the distribution graph and we show where all those will go. But basically, as people come into the platform, they'll buy the token. Those tokens will come from my wallet. This is the way it works. I mean, you know, and sure, that's scary. Of course, I could just take off. That's how everything is. I mean, you look at the
And
way
so
Bitcoin started, it's the same principle. Yeah.
so they buy it with Cardano and you
Yeah.
sell them your XYZ token, and so you make the money in Cardano when they buy it from you.
In Cardano, exactly right. So we'll
Yeah,
set
and
we can set the price at 15 cents or whatever. And then,
yeah.
of course, yeah,
Then
Have
denominate.
does it
you have you decided to lock any away yet? Like in a locked supply or something like that?
It's on the Daedalus wallet right now, so really
And
no
so,
reason to at this point.
is
Maybe
it
in the
is
future.
it is it good for you, or does it actually benefit you in any way when it grows in value? Like, so let's say you are sold out and you
Yeah.
sold out all of your 300 million tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Does the founder actually have any motivation to keep pushing? Because, for example, in NFTs, you have the royalties. So after
Mm-hmm.
your sold out collection, you still have motivation, because you have the royalties from OpenSea. And where is the long term business in the tokens? I don't know. I'm new to it. I have no
Yeah,
idea. So
token
that's
a
why I'm
little
asking.
different, but we would hold a specific amount, and the value would be created from that. So as people are
I see.
buying it, it drives the price of that token. So the ones we hold would be the ones that go up in value, which will
Ah,
basically just be used to continue the project.
I see.
Yeah,
So you would
it's
then,
it's an unbelievable amount of trust that's involved here. What did you say?
yeah, yeah. I understand. So you basically buy your own tokens, and then as they grow up in value, you basically own a bunch of these. So
Well, we
you
just hold a
can,
certain amount that never go out. Yeah, exactly. We don't buy
yeah,
our
I
own.
see.
We never that certain amount, like 20% or whatever. You know how the tokenomic graphs will work, where it says the team gets that certain amount, all that. That's how it works.
And
And
what is
again,
the
there's the other same issue, huh?
end game with the token? Like Solana and Cardano, they
Mm,
try to improve the network somehow. Do you have
yeah.
something like this as well? If you don't mind sharing, of course.
Sure, but this is different. This would definitely be different than like a Solana or Ethereum based thing like that. This is the utility is in the usage of the token. The utility is in the usage of the token.
I see, and the
Does that make sense?
usage will be.
See, the utility in Solana is not necessarily in the usage of the token. Maybe you build on top of it, right?
So you want it to be like a payment
There you go. That's right.
method.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Of its own, native currency, right? Not
Hmm.
like a replacement of Bitcoin or anything. It would be used in the project solely.
I see. That's
It's a lot of
interesting.
layers to it. It's a lot of layers to it. But again, going back to road pulls and all that. This is where the rubber meets the road in this decentralized process is trust. It's an amazing process. And we have to, you have to hope that people trust. And, you have bad actors in that, right?
Yeah, and you have a team around it, I suppose, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Blockchain
Because
expert.
there's got to be a lot of technological background behind creating the token. I can imagine it's
Sure.
kind of similar to NFTs, but then, as you said, it's getting completely different once you want to list it on some marketplace like Binance or Coinbase. And where
The
did you end up
exchanges are hard.
getting?
The
Yeah.
exchanges are really hard.
This
You
is
have to see with the exchanges, especially the big ones, coins, the what you have to do because it's so expensive is that's why building a community is so important, because Binance, the exchange has listed coins just because the community is fucking awesome, just because the coin is doing awesome. So they you don't even have to pay sometimes if you have this great community. So um that's kind of the big thing about it. And with these other exchanges as well, the most of the time a coin does really well if they stick to like the smaller, I guess you could say, the exchanges like the Pancake Swap, CoinDex, or not CoinDex, CoinGecko, or Gate.io, stuff like that. Like the smaller exchanges, these coins do really well in, and then they can build a kick-ass community, and then these bigger exchanges will look at that because they want to make money too. So they're going to look at all the new communities, they're going to look at all the new coins, they're going to be like, okay, what would be perfect on this exchange, and plus it gives them more publicity because they're in our eyes, whenever they give a free listing to a coin, it's like, holy shit, holy fucking shit. To them, it's not really anything, they're making money, and they're just, it's, you know, so that's another big thing about coins is you can get listed on big exchanges just because of the community and just because of how awesome you are.
And the way that has went down is the exchange has kind of played a role in this as the consumer's protector. because they scrutinize the hell out of a coin and the team and the project in general. So that's one layer that, of protection for the consumer. The other thing that has happened, though, what has changed, and you mentioned one in swaps, is DEXs. And it's a different ballgame where, it's a decentralized exchange. It's not even necessarily an exchange or team behind it in some cases. So that has made it easier for the person that's making the token. I don't know exactly what it does with that layer of protection, but yeah, if you create something phenomenal, you're absolutely right. They would be happy to take you on. If they don't know who the hell you are, you better be ready to pay. And yeah, we have experts behind the scenes, man. I'm an idea guy and the money guy. Might as well say it that way.
Yeah, I see. Well, one interesting thing with the exchanges is also that if you have like super interesting project, because to put it into perspective, I've been following one token which is called ENS, and that's like Ethereum name service, which is basically like Web 3.0 domains, like .com, so you have .eth, and they are running for several years, and now they decided that they're gonna do their own token, and they rewarded some of their holders or supporters with an airdrop, and like in a day or two the token was out. Coinbase and Binance all wanted to list them. So the other point of view is that if you have some already successful project and you decide to do a token, then they can even fight to get you first.
Yes, absolutely.
It really depends on the situation, I think.
Yeah, we're even discussing a gateway through the site itself to purchase the token because of the difficulty in this whole process of listing and all that, and then in hopes that maybe exactly that, people love the project so much, the Coinbases and all that, just take it on. Because they want the big money if they don't know who you are. Understandable.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, they gotta have some policy, It's not just about the money, right? You have to meet some conditions to be listed there.
Exactly, yes.
I see.
Which again is good for the consumer.
Yeah, definitely. The thing that Alex was talking about yesterday, that the, let's say, shitcoins are gonna somehow be regulated so that not that much of them is gonna pop up. I wonder how they will do it, if they're gonna get in contact with the exchanges and just like think about what to list and what not to list from a higher perspective, or like how they are gonna actually make it happen.
I think that might be the way it happens. If I'm thinking about it, if I look at these like PooCoin, right? These chart websites where I can look at and that are very, very popular. Everyone knows them. So like PooCoin. You have to go through PancakeSwap and PooCoin, and then, well, first it's DX Sale. DX Sale is where you'll go on to find new coins, the coins I haven't even listed yet, right? So you do some research on these coins beforehand. You're like, okay, this sounds like a really good fucking coin. I'm going to 10x this, whatever. So you buy the pre-sale of this coin on DX Sale. If the pre-sale does good, they sell out on there, then, or they hit their cap, then they are able to list on PancakeSwap. From PancakeSwap, that's when PooCoin will connect, and then your chart is, you can see it from there. The thing is, with PancakeSwap, too many scam coins get listed because after they hit DX sale, then, depending on, let's say, let's say somebody like a scam artist or whatever, buys or has enough money to buy the cap of, what's it called, of the coin for the pre-sale. Okay, then they're listed on PancakeSwap. Then they're on the charts, right? Everybody's gonna think, oh my god, this is such a great coin. This coin sold out, blah blah blah. Everybody's gonna buy into it. From there, that's when people can't pull out. That's when you have all these, these coins that you get rug pulled from. So they have to eliminate that somehow, and that's why I feel like they'll have to, like you said, Michael, they'll have to get in contact with these
Lundex
exchanges.
is what you guys are looking for.
What was that?
Look into a project. Look into a project called Lundex. Everything you guys are talking about, this project has it. They have a Guardian AI system. It's 22 for 22. somebody hacks your coins, the system gets your coins back.
Are you
They're
serious?
building an entire platform with a Visa card that's coming out on the Binance Smart Chain with an NFT platform, gaming platform. The Alpha Guardians are coming out December 26th with their NFTs for the metaverse, and that's also going to be part of a DAO. So a lot of what you guys are talking about, look into the project Lundex because that'll spell it out for you.
Yeah, but the thing is that I understand this can happen with the centralized exchanges like Coinbase on Binance, but how are you regulate the DEX exchanges, The, I don't know, Uniswap or whatever.
You just build a platform on the exchange and control that.
I think they'll have to put it into law, and once it's in law, then I mean that's when everybody has to follow it, or they're risking obvious things. And I'm just gonna put this out here: the governments have the technology to find you if they really want to find you, and if you're making money and they're not getting any of it, best believe they're gonna be at your door. So I just, I think that they're eventually going to have to put it into law, especially, very soon if they feel like they're behind in a lot. And then from there, we'll start to see more regulations and, who knows what could happen. It's a lot to tell what could happen.
Yeah. I think we have a long way ahead of us regarding the regulations because, again, like we were saying yesterday, the government is just starting to hop on the train and trying to understand how blockchain works and stuff like this. And it seemed to me that they don't want to make any rush decisions because, as again you said yesterday, they want to make money from the crypto space. They don't want to regulate it to shit to zero. They want to make some like piece of it for themselves.
Oh, definitely.
So it's gonna take some time before they figure out this stuff.
The United States also doesn't want it to blow up either because the United Arab Emirates, I found out yesterday, want to stop selling oil. They want to take their money and dump it into crypto. If they do that, they will buy 10% of the entire market. They have something like $250 trillion that they can dump in there, or $250 billion. So $250 billion they can dump into the crypto market. That's what the UAE wants to do.
Say that again.
And
They want to
America,
stop. They want to stop selling oil.
they
Yeah.
want to stop selling the oil because there's more money in crypto. In the United
Oh,
States, they don't want it to boom like that because then it'll take all the oil away. It'll
yeah, that
screw
would
up the
be.
market for them.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. What would we do?
So, like, if you guys go, whoever's part of our Delta Talk or our Delta community, if you guys go to the Delta Talk, I posted something, and it's kind of something that kind of pertains to what we're saying right now, and it's just like brands, really huge company brands, like the NTFXT and Nike collaboration or whatever the case. If you look at that, and then you go to the link, and then here, I'll send it for everybody so everyone can see. It's a copy link. If everyone goes to general right now, you guys can check that out. So this is what's happening is this guy is apparently having trouble with, wanting to sell maybe his NFT just not on like OpenSea or some shit like that. But apparently, because of the collaboration with Nike, Nike doesn't want that, and Nike, they want their fucking money. That's what they want. And then if you look at the comments of that tweet, they're basically they want their fucking fees. That's what they want. Like you say, like right here it says private sale. They do not want this, which is the whole point of kind of decentralization. That's what we're trying to do. And then if you go down, NFT Trader dropped them. So these exchanges, I don't know how this is going to play out with these bigger brands coming into the crypto and NFT space because all the exchanges that have been in the crypto and NFT space are not going to like it because it defeats the whole purpose. And so
They're not going to let that happen. It's going to be like an A lot and a B lot for car dealerships.
yep.
They're not. The corporations are going to create their own apparatus so that everything can be monitored and taxed. The same way
Yeah,
we
well,
use a debit card in a bank. The same way they can see every transaction you do. Once these corporations line up None of that stuff will be centralized. And then what they'll do is they'll frown on the decentralized market where people won't know how to do anything and get scammed versus the people just plugging up a wallet into one of these centralized corporations and, oh, it's in my wallet, I'm safe. And they won't know anything else about the decentralized space.
Yeah, the thing that is scary about this, for me at least, is that, or scary, something that never has happened before, is that the government might lose power over time, and we are gonna see the corporations kind of becoming the government itself, because the more and
Yep.
more people move to the online world, it's gonna matter if you are, for example, part of a Google ecosystem or Apple ecosystem more than
Yeah,
if
that's
you
what they're trying
live
to build the metaverse
in
themselves.
America. Yeah, yeah. So, but the tricky part about it, is, at least for me, if you take Meta, Zuckerberg is in charge of that. You know, he's making
Hmm.
at least part of the decisions. So you are putting the power into hands of one man, which is scary.
This is, oh my god.
Yeah, it becomes centralized, then it's not decentralized anymore because there is one company in charge.
Well, it's like if you have NBA Top Shot, right? Like, what got me out of that is my buddy was trying to get me to it for a year. I realized what the NBA was doing. They're just printing their own money. So I can come up with whatever I want, print my money as a corporation, get insurmountable tax breaks, because not only are we working with the federal government, but then as like you said, these corporations are going to start to take over. I mean, look at how Tesla speaks over what the government does or Elon Musk does. So as these corporations, they're going to be the governments. Just how like in America, right? You have rights, but you're forced by an employee to put a mask on because the corporation is the ones that's enforcing those policies, even though it's against the law. But the corporations got to push those policies, even though it contradicted law. So
Well,
you can't come and spend
it's
money in
against
my
the current
business.
law. Yeah.
Well, it's in certain states there, you can't mandate that people wear masks. It's against the law. It goes against the Civil Rights Act. So, but what I'm getting at is the point that the corporations use the employees to enforce an illegal law, but because they own the property that you're going in to spend money in, albeit Best Buy, Marathon, whatever it is, they create the policy, then the lawmaker can't do anything because the corporation is private. The same way that the government prioritizes private government contracts, so you can't file Freedom of Information Acts to find out what they're doing with weapons.
Yeah, that's really scary. Or at least like it might not be scary if they approach it with best interests, but I don't think that will happen with everyone.
The government will never have our best interest.
It's a way of capitalism to a certain degree, but it's scary space, you know, because you are gonna have different rules everywhere, and like you said, you know, there's only so much that the government can control and maybe like help the regular people to orient themselves in the space. But once the transition happens like bigger into the online space, it's just gonna go down this road. And right now, right now, the things you told me got me a little depressed, to be honest.
It didn't depress me. It just made me feel dumber.
It's just like the government, like in the 50s, right? I think it was the 50s. They turned the United States into a corporation. The United States of America has a tax code. So what that means is the United States of America is not a country. Countries don't have tax codes. So because the United States of America has a tax liability, this country is ran like a corporation. So the laws are not going to matter once these corporations completely take over, because they come in, they buy up land, then tell you what you can do on the land because
That's
it's
true.
privately owned and they're a corporation. But if you're an individual and you try to do that same very thing with private land, you know, like let's say a burglar comes onto a corporate land, right? And he gets shot by security. No problem. Burglar done, case closed. Now, you got somebody who comes on your property, they're trying to steal something from you, and you go outside and you shoot them, and they survive, they sue your ass, and they win. as an individual. So as these corporations get bigger and bigger, they're going to create the laws because you're going to go into, like, let's say a corporate zone. There won't be, and they'll come up with whatever laws they want, similar to how Google at their big facility in California, they have their own little world and laws.
The little spark of hope I see in that is that the virtual online world is basically infinite, you know. So if there are like 5 huge corporations that are having like insane regulations and pointless laws, you will always have the choice to go to some other online multiverse that might be kinder in a way.
I agree. But think about how many people, like, there's 1 in 10 people around the world that know about crypto. So out of those 1 out of 10 people, so there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us in here. Somebody help me out with some math. What's 9? There's 9 people that are not here for every one of us that is.
Yeah.
And then we have NFTs, which is even a smaller space out of that 10%. Then we're talking about the metaverse, which is even a smaller space out of the NFT and crypto market. So when all this stuff does come online, those of us that are here now, we're going to be okay. But when they change the world again, the way they did with these cell phones, I sold cell phones for 10 years. There's people driving around, can't work them. But what I'm pointing at is when they come out with the metaverse, all these people are going to get left behind. All these people that don't know how to use a wallet are going to get scammed. So once this transition happens, we're all ahead of the curve. But for everybody else who's, you know what I'm saying, still out here busting their ass for money and working like the old-fashioned way, everybody, it's going to cripple everything again. Because you're going to have people in their 50s and 60s that have never used a damn computer have to now switch to a wallet.
Yeah.
In order to go shopping somewhere.
It's just like when the debit cards changed to chips, you know? I mean, everybody didn't get it, or I mean, you know, the majority of, you know, the older generation didn't really get it or something like that. And, you know, they were like, why do we need these, blah blah blah, security, blah blah, whatever. So, you know, it's change happens fast. It could happen in like a blink of an eye. So
You guys, I've been listening to and enjoying the conversation. I also want to add too, I think it's real powerful how early we are right now too, because all the people who are involved now actually know the power of decentralization, you know. So, you know, and by having new people come into the space who know what true decentralization is, it's going to help to spread awareness of what, you know, we don't want to happen and what is not fair when it does come about. Because I do think most of you are right about the government's intentions with it, and, you know, people are not going to know. But yeah, just by being here and spreading awareness, you know, good job, because I think that's real important.
Like, why do you think on the back end they made an ENS, Ethereum name service? You think that has anything to do for the users? Oh yeah, we'll make it easy for you guys. But making it easy for us always comes with a catch. So now, when this stuff all works its way in, then what they'll do is all these wallets, everybody's going to tag their name on them and then forget they got to give them to their tax guy. Then they'll say, oh, no problem. We have the ENS name service. We can just pull all your records. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I mean, technically they can do that with just the wallet address too, though. It's just more digits, you know, all that stuff. I think we'll see how it goes, but yeah, it's
all trackable. But
world,
you can deny it. You can deny the wallet because there's no name on it.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
If you stick your name to something and say, well, wait a minute, this is your Ethereum name service, which is tagged to this wallet address, and you sent it from a centralized exchange to this, and you sent it to this wallet. Well, what is this wallet? Now they can ask more questions. They can dig deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's say they give us all cell phones. Oh, cool, we got this phone. But then all in the meantime, they record everything you do. You know, if you don't shut Google off, Google will tell you, hey, you went 85 places this month. You go, wait, what? How the hell do you know that? So there's always something on the back end when they give us something good on the front. I mean, not that I'm trying to say to avoid paying taxes. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is for the folks that do, or the folks that maneuver in the space that have been doing it, just gives them another way to say we want taxable events on every time you've made money versus you making money off of a centralized exchange and only sending back to the centralized exchange what you sent off of it, so they don't see profit. Then you make all your profit in the decentralized space, and unless you give them all those transactions, you're fine. Unless you send more money back to the centralized exchange than you sent out, they're not taxing you.
But they might ask you to show them like where did those money came from, you know? So I think I don't know how it works in the States, but in our country you have like 10 years, you know, 10 years back you can search anything and you know you can charge it, you know, 10 years back. So I don't know, maybe in 5 years the tax officers are going to be more able to track those transactions as well, because
Yeah,
they will be more.
it's only a matter of time until some private company is gonna develop some program to track those things for government, because they are gonna be in dire need of it. You know, they don't know shit. Let's be honest, and it's gonna take some time before they can like orient in the space. But I think that some private companies are gonna focus on this business opportunity to make some system that is gonna track all the transaction and stuff like this.
XRP. The lady who's running Rios, the lady who's running the XRP program in the United States, she was, I think, the 43rd or 45th treasurer of the United States. She's working with XRP. She's one of the top level execs over there. That's why XRP is so hard to get in the United States, because they're keeping it down before they release it. They want everybody, all the bigwigs, to get it.
Wait, so are you saying that XRP is actually positive? Because I thought that the whole sentiment about this is that it's useless project and it shouldn't be like paid attention.
You better buy XRP, because that's all I can tell you. Like,
I want to get XRP.
They're working with, they have people that were United States treasurer. It's on my Twitter. If I can't think of her name, somebody Rios. It's on the $100 bill.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you've seen it, but her name's printed on our $100 bill, and that name is then shows up when you go Google XRP. So the United States, instead of making people or companies to go monitor a blockchain, they'll just create a blockchain, have everybody use it, and the monitoring's done. Because it takes less manpower, because you can use the system to do the manpower versus the manpower to be the system. But
yeah, but there is still the lawsuit against XRP.
Only
there's a reason for that.
There is.
There's a reason.
But that's only, yes, because they don't want it to come out and everybody to get ripped. They want all their people. If she worked for the United States government, if they put their person in there, you think that ain't going to come out? That's definitely going to come out. But when it does, they're going to make sure it comes out in the best interest of all their corporate buddies.
Part of, I think, the deal with XRP is it's supposed to be for cross-border transactions too. So it's not just the United States. I think, you know, it's possible that it could control a world currency, and I think it's even been vetted by the world banks for that purpose, if I'm not mistaken.
I've owned XRP for a long time, and I received my airdrops. What's the purpose of those? What is it called? Songbird or something? I got
some of those airdrops too. I didn't get that one, but I signed up for a couple of them. Yeah,
maybe it was something else. But what is the purpose of those? Do you know?
Because it gets you around, since you can't purchase. Like me, I have baby XRP. I can't buy XRP in the United States except the XRP I bought years ago. So I get baby XRP airdropped to my wallet, and they do that because you're not spending US dollars on it, because you can't.
Is there?
Huh.
I can't say.
Well, hot damn.
It's all about people who support.
The airdrop goes around that.
Yeah, I think all those airdrops are for basically, you know, they're planning infrastructure around XRP, you know, being a big thing, and all those tokens are going to be things that play a part in that's, you know, it some way, either in like some of them might be games, some of them might be like infrastructure things, you know, but I think that's kind of the point of all the airdrops, is to just try to hook people up who are holding during the crazy lawsuit and all the other shit.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've held it for a long time.
For sure, like all of them are speculative, but you can, you know, sign up for them to, you know, allow the token to be dropped into your wallet by just like adding the contract, I think, for the token. And yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a XRP airdrop Twitter page or something like that has like a list of airdrops. There's like 30 airdrops this month or something like that.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, different
I'll be
tokens.
back, guys. I'm gonna hop off for a sec.
Crazy.
I hold it on Exodus though. I don't think that, or I'm not sure how that would work with the airdrops.
Yeah, not me neither, really. But I just know I'm taking a shot on it and see, because some of them, you never know what they're gonna be. But yeah.
Yeah, the airdrops are a crazy thing, as well. It's just like they are rewarding the early adopters or users so much. It really pays off trying to keep track with the interesting projects that are coming up in the space, because basically you can make that like your full-time job at some point if you are good at guessing what projects are going to be really cool and what are not. It's about luck, obviously, but if you go towards that, I believe that it can provide a lot of money as well.
Yes, Sea Bear is the man. He's the osmosis king. He knows how to get. He's getting more airdrops on the daily. I don't understand
swear,
it.
dude, he makes me want to buy it every single day.
Juno, yeah, yeah. I keep my XR. I've always, well, at least for maybe almost 2 years, I've kept my XRP on Celsius, and they actually honored the airdrops. So, food for thought.
You are big on the Celsius.
Yeah,
I
man.
like
You would think that I'm tied to them. I just like them. I have no affiliation with Celsius. With Celsius, though, when you guys were talking taxes, one thing I've recognized, Celsius definitely sends me a 1099. So I have to show that to my tax man, but I have recognized this is really an honor system up to this point. My CPA, when I do my taxes, he just asks, what cryptos do you hold? The only one that really is like, I got to show paperwork is Celsius, which I'm okay with. I did the KYC and I became an accredited investor and all that stuff, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, that's a dicey area, man. Like, you show all your wallets. I don't know. I know Celsius makes you show it, which I think is actually a good thing for me at this point. But the other wallets, when it comes to tax time, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Got
you
to
basically
display it all.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing is that at this point, I don't think that they are gonna dig into it, the government, So maybe even if you make some mistake, it's all right. But
At this point.
yeah, at this point, it could come back to you, like James said, for us,
yeah, 10
maybe even
years.
7-8 years.
Yes.
And you are basically gonna be like, okay, but you guys let me make that mistake, So where's the
Sure.
truth? Whose fault is it?
I would hope that if they introduce, laws, they would somewhat make them, active after a certain point, because I think, again, anything's possible, and of course the government could fuck us like that, but that would be a royal, that would be a big deal, so I'm hopeful anyway that, any regulations like that might be stuff that starts when at a certain date, and then anything before that is just the Wild West in a certain sense, possibly. I think that stuff will be able to be tracked for forever backwards. Like if they're looking for something specific, fraud per se, like definitely, that is possible that they can find that, but other than that, unless they're looking, I think they're probably just going to give most people who are involved, because there's a shitload of people involved right now, even though it is a small percentage of everybody. It's a huge amount of people.
Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah.
area.
I think they might even try to make some bad examples of people to breed fear in others.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely have the capability to do that on some small scale.
I won't be that guy.
Let's hope so.
I don't want to be that dude. It's interesting. We say, butt out, government, butt out. And then, of course, I'm going to bring this up again, but you think of that Lying LepreCon situation, and it's like, who's going to chase down that dude, You don't want the government involved, but at the same time, it's like, they would be the ones that, that's where I guess you kind of want some involvement and some protection. But
that's what I said in the beginning, that it's all in our own hands, which is scary and rewarding at the same time. And I think that it generally comes to the personal preference of people, because if I, for example, take you and me, I hold all my crypto on cold storages because I just want to be sure that it's mine. And yeah, I'm losing some percent on the interest I could be earning with the Celsius. But for me, that was the whole point of crypto: getting off the grid of the state. Taking the responsibility for your money.
Yeah, that is a good point. Also, why I got into it, and then it's like I'm distracted by the shiny coin theory, metaphorically. Like I go, oh wait, I can get interest on it while it's sitting too, and could be a mistake, I guess, in some aspects, but
No,
can't help
like I
myself.
said, I think it's the personal preference. It's
Sure.
it's what everybody wants or expects from the crypto to do it for them.
Yeah, and again, I also don't think that like with stuff like that, they're just gonna like shut it off without any warning. I think that people are gonna have time to get out if you pay attention to what's going on. If something is gonna affect your situation that you're in, maybe.
I know where we're at with Celsius. Specifically, there was 3 or 4 states that did a cease and desist on them. Kentucky, New Jersey. There was 4 of them, but basically those people. I'm like you're saying. I'm quite sure they can get their stuff out of their wallets, but they cannot now add or purchase. So that come pretty quick. That was like within 24 hours. Boom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that does
also,
freak me out about exchanges for sure.
yeah, I have
That's
a
scary.
bad experience with like something like this. Once I first got to the crypto, I didn't want to buy a hardware wallet because I did it just like to try out the space. So I had like, I don't know, $500 in Bitcoin, and I stored it on a software wallet in my mobile phone. I don't even remember how the wallet was called, but basically what happened is that the company that ran the wallet got shut down. The owner got arrested, and you just couldn't log into the application. So I was like, okay. So I just lost all my Bitcoin that I had there because for some reason I wasn't able to, at that time, for some reason I wasn't able to recover it by the seed phrase in another wallet. I don't know, it might have been some book or I was doing something wrong, but that scared me off a little. And like 1.5 years after that happened, I tried to recover it in a different wallet, and it suddenly worked. So another point of view for that is that I don't know how the Celsius works, but if you have a wallet there with your own seed phrase, even if the Celsius went down, you might be able to recover the funds in a different wallet, which is also like nice perk to have. That if one company fails, you can basically use the blockchain to, as long as you have the recovery phrase, so use the blockchain to recover the funds in a different wallet.
And what's your kind of mode of operandi now? Do you use like Ledger, like the hardware wallets now?
I'm using Trezor because it's a Czech company, so it's close to my heart, kind of. It's Czech guys developing that, and I think the safety is probably the best and the user experience is as well, but I don't think there's difference, or I think it's important to have a hardware wallet, and it doesn't really matter if it's Trezor or Ledger.
Okay.
And you can even use the hardware wallet, maybe like link it to your MetaMask, for example, and use it as a second layer of protection, basically two-phase authorization. Because if you connect your Trezor to your MetaMask, you aren't able to do any transactions on the MetaMask without physically approving them on the Trezor. So if some hacker gets the hold of your MetaMask, he isn't able to do any harm.
Oh wow. Well, you might have to take a class on that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but there's always a downside to something like this. For example, if you are a trader or daily trader and you need to sell something from your MetaMask immediately from your mobile phone because it just did like 200% and you don't have the Trezor by your side with the computer, you are basically screwed. So it's always something for something.
Mm-hmm. I can't help it, man. I see the interest rates, and I'm an interest junkie. I was like, damn it, I can't help myself.
Yeah, I didn't check it out yet because I'm afraid that it would make me send all my funds to the
You'll be like
southeast.
me. Yeah.
What am I missing out on, you know?
Well, that's that Wonderland. I won't look at it, but I put about a month ago. I put a decent amount in Wonderland, and I committed, man. I said to myself, it's going to be 365 days before I may look at it a couple months from now. I know me well enough, though. I'm gonna ride the store, man. 80,000% interest. So what the hell is it? Talk about tax me income.
I just got on Wonderland too about a week ago as well.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm not looking. So
crazy stuff. We'll see. Yeah,
we'll see.
It's like a
Exactly.
crypto or NFT?
Wonderland.
On Avalanche, it's a DAO. They're doing like it's crazy. You should look into it. It's pretty. They're like doing buyback. They have like an automated system that does buybacks when people sell to try to keep the price regulated. And then there's massive APY, like 80,000% APY. And since it's on Avalanche, there's no gas, or gas is minimal too, which is really nice. So it's a pretty interesting. You can take profits regularly without having to pay gas fees if you choose, or you can just let it sit for a really long time.
Don't tell me there's not some catch. You know, I'm just on their website and it really says 84,000% APY. That's insane.
Crazy. If you look at the calculator there, they have like it's pretty funny. I mean, they have like a sliding bar, where you put in your money, it tells you how many Lambos you're going to make.
Okay.
You're like, I'm sold. Dude, if you watch the video of the founder, and I think that helps, kind of wrap your head around who started this shit. He's pretty damn impressive, man. I was amazed by him.
Yeah, I was impressed too. I was like, all right, like this dude seems like he's trying to do something new and revolutionary, so I'm down to try it out with him,
And
I don't know if you got into Euphoria. I'm also in that one, and that's 700,000%. That's a Harmony One token. If you're into.
Yeah, Wonderland is the largest APY thing that I'm in, and
check out that one with Harmony. It's pretty cool. It's exactly the same thing. I don't know how that works. It's exactly the same look. The little calculator, the sliding, everything's the same. Higher APY.
Interesting.
Hey, I'm still confused about the Wonderland. Like you can withdraw the funds at any point, and you can just change them to USDC or whatever.
Oh, let him explain. He explained
the calculator says that like for 30 days of interest, if I put $3,000 in it, I'm gonna make $5,500, and that just seems like too good to be true,
Of course. Yeah. I feel like they've taken the ideas of the bank.
Really, I think this guy's prospect is, that our fake money is better than fiat fake money, and he's really proving it for the most part, or trying to anyway. We'll see again, because I agree with you. I think it does sound too good to be true, but it was also just interesting to me. I wanted to get in and see what happened.
Yeah, maybe check them out.
Maybe it's some kind of Ponzi scheme, but we are very early, so we can actually make money out of it.
Yeah, right. We'll get in there. Exactly. I mean, it's hip to the idea of taxes too, and I'm sure it says Big Ginge. I don't want to pronounce that incorrectly, but
it doesn't matter. Yeah, either way.
Sorry. You saw, and you probably know this. I still haven't wrapped, quote unquote, my head around it, but you can wrap it to do something with the tax thing. Do you know anything about that?
I haven't looked into it as far as like anything like that, like the tax stuff, but I know that there's things that you can do when you stake it. You get another token that holds the place in your wallet. It's called MEM. And apparently there's another website that's affiliated with Wonderland that is created by the same guy. I think it's called Abracadabra. I'm not doing this, but I've just heard about it. And you can then stake the MIM token or onto that other website and gain like extra gains from that. So then you're getting gains from the Wonderland being staked, which gives you MIM. And then you can take the MIM and put it somewhere else to get other gains from another protocol or something like that. And there's a bunch of stuff like that you can do, and a bunch of weird stuff with like minting tokens too. You can like mint some of the tokens on there by, I think, I'm not too familiar with it. I haven't done it, but yeah, I'm just sticking with the normal staking for me right now because I think it's the least risky out of all of the things. It's still pretty risky, but
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
just another thing that is something to be aware of with coins like this. I'm just looking at coin market cap, and
Mhm.
one thing is that in less than a month time they went, or the price of one coin of the time went from $9,000 to $2,000 basically. That's
Mhm.
one thing, and the other thing is the liquidation, because to liquidate the funds, you gotta have someone buying it on the exchange. And if the basically this is what happened with Dogecoin, for example. There are people that made like $1 trillion on Dogecoin or whatever, and they were only able to liquidate like a percent of that or something like this because the liquidation on the market isn't high enough. Nobody wants to buy it at that amount. So if they sold it all at one point, they are basically selling it for no value. So that's another thing to be aware of with projects like this. It can look good on the paper, but when it comes down to liquidating the money, it might not be such a fun story.
Mhm.
yeah, good point.
I like the way you ended that. No, it's such a fun story. Yeah, they've got the runway that helps you understand that. I think it's 430 days at this point. Liquidity if everything went wrong. And then there was another thing that shows you even if it went to $2, you don't lose the interest gain. And I'm not even going to try to explain that. But then another layer to that was the founders' wallets. They have access to or at least to see what's in the founders' wallets, which was like $1.9 billion or something that he's made public, maybe. And that also helps with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we could lose it all tomorrow. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
I told you
well,
I'm a junkie.
it's a huge risk, huge reward kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Fun, man. I
Well, yeah.
clung to the optimism of Humble. He's very intelligent. I'm clinging to the optimistic part of his message, which is we are early and should benefit from that.
Yeah.
If we can spread the word to help others. I mean, my mom is 75 and still writes checks at Kroger's, so if we can help to avoid that, I'm all about it. Great brains.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.
See ya.
Yeah.
So long.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas from the Great Brains Club with pros in crypto. We know NFTs well. Our goal is financial freedom and our pockets to swell. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas from the Great Brains Club.